Record. Okay. I'm going to repeat what I just said. Welcome to Brookline Decision Making 3:30. I hope all of you had a great week. Week 7 is great. We get to talk about all these concepts that are going in the world right now and make good decisions. So, I hope, like I think I just said, everybody had a good weekend. Good. Put your name in the chat so I know who's here. I'm going to screen share right now a PowerPoint. Screen share, there we go.
Professor, I have a question when you're done talking.
Yes. Oh, I'm not talking now, so yeah. What's your question?
Do you mind going over our week 7 assignment we need to do? Because I'm a little confused on what to do.
Yeah, that is actually really good. And that happens to be your week 8 assignment, right? Is there
it's under week 7. I'm not sure.
Okay, so let me go back into the classroom. I just clicked out of it, and I'll go back into the class. I think the one that we're talking about, or you are, is one that campus wants all of you to complete. I think I changed it up a little bit and decided that was what we needed for the midterm because that's how I had it. So week 7 is October 5th. And APA format, syllabus, Brookline. Okay. Introduction, lab lectures, machines. All right, week 7 is writing assignment. There you go. All righty. That is, I got to fix that. So what I'm going to do, okay, during our break, I will fix that because that's a leftover from whoever first designed this course. And I have a different one that's more about healthcare. And we're going to talk about facts and fallacies. I think it's week 10, and week 10 is ethics. So maybe week 9 and 11 is when we talk about facts and fallacies. So you haven't even been there yet. So this is not mine assignment, okay?
So we don't have to do it. We can like disregard it.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide it. I will, when I go into the editing mode on Moodle, not any of my other platforms that I teach on, but Moodle gets shaky. So I don't, it's to me, the description of how I feel when I edit assignments in the whole classroom is that I touch on something and the whole thing shakes like it's going to fall down. And it's hard to scroll up and down on your screen. So I don't like editing on Moodle, but I will do this on a break and then you can see it. We'll do our first break around 1:30, give or take 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after. And I'm going to put up the other one for week 8. Okay, and I'm going to put that one up now. And I want to say something about the week 8 assignment. It's your final. It's your midterm, I'm sorry, midterm. When is it due? It's supposed to be due next Sunday night. 2 Sundays from now. It'll be Sunday the 18th. If you do not hand it in on the 18th, it's okay, as long as it's in before the final week. I would prefer you to work on it. I would prefer you to submit it as soon as you can so you don't get behind, because that's a decision that you need to make to keep updated with your assignments. However, if your midterms, if you're taking some midterms that you're nervous about, to me, it's more important that you study for a midterm. Some of you don't have a lot of time. So does that make sense? Maybe. Okay. Let me pull up my Word document and okay. Let's see. Here it is. And I'm going to share the Word document for everybody. And I would like any questions, just unmute yourself and talk because it's really hard to explain when I don't have feedback. I believe all of you have no questions. Okay, so I'm going to screen share again.
Will we go over our midterm next week?
We will go over it next week as well, yes.
All right.
All right. And it's easy, okay? So I'm going to screen share. I got the document up here. It's a scary assignment, the way it looks. It's an easy assignment once you realize what you have to do. So there are things that look scary, like an assignment. Looks like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of work here. So can you see, and if you can keep, I think it was Yusuf that was talking, if you can keep up unmuted, it would be good. So you can tell me yes or no. So can you see the midterm decision making?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. See, I have it here as doing Sunday, October 18th. So that is the end of week 8. I need to have a midterm. Do you have to take the midterm exam? All right, that's the question. I'm going to type it right here. This is, let's see, gotta get my keyboard. I have an extra keyboard here. I am going to say this replaces the Mind Tap midterm. All right, and I'm going to highlight that. And I'm going to do that. Let's see. And I'm going to make it big. That won't do that. So what this does is nobody has to do the Mind Tap assignment, the midterm, unless you want to. Okay? I think I said last week we'll go over it in class. I was told, no, I can't do that. So this replaces the midterm Mind Tap if you want. Okay? It's a very easy assignment. This is the scary thing right here. It says research 5 articles that are about a medical decision. We have so many articles right today talking about COVID, everything that President Trump, his diagnosis, how many other tests, what prescriptions he was using, what was his treatment. You have many, many articles, right? So you fill out this rubric. All you have to do is submit this rubric. You do not have to write paragraphs, okay? So it's just submitting the rubric and filling in the rubric. So we have a lot of chat, 23 chats. Yes, it does. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we cannot see you. Oh boy, that's kind of good. I'm kind of glad you can't see me. So sorry, just reading the chat out loud. Let me go and see what I can do about. There you go. Here I am. See, there I am. All right. So I'm glad you could. I just had a salad, got all that stuff out of my teeth. All right. So again, this assignment, you hand in, all you have to do is copy this article summary. That's it. I do have to have one assignment that has you do an APA style and finding references. Please use the databases if you can at the library. We just got a fantastic new library system, I believe. I haven't looked at it yet, but it came online. Use that if you can. Don't be scared of it. This will probably take you maybe at the most 15 minutes per article. If you read it, maybe 20, 25. It's not going to take you a long time. You can have this assignment out maybe even quicker than that. So here is my example. I found this one here. This is the assignment title. What healthcare department is it in? It's in about all the department because it's about procedures. If you find one about prescription drugs, that could be in pharmacy, that could be in nursing. If you find one about surgical tools, that would be under surgical tech. Okay, so it's pretty easy, right? Here's a summary. You find 5 points from that article. So in this article, I found these 5 points. What chapter does it match? Okay, it matches chapter 5, constructing knowledge. Okay, so these are the 5 examples, 5 articles that you find, you fill them out. APA references, remember I have to have you do APA. Here it is. You just put, does anybody in chat now, if you answer no, if you don't know how to download a database like ProQuest or EBSCOhost, you don't know how to do that, the second step will be harder too, because you can just click on the word site there and it gives you the APA format in APA style. So here's the name of it, and here's this, and this is the author. So that's not exactly the APA style, but it has all the information. Here's the article that was found in the Rheumatologist magazine. So all you do, you put all 5 articles there. Then here's the summary chart. You go back up, you had 5 information guidelines from this. You choose one from each article. Is the major point. Is the major point. And then the best out of 5, I should probably go to layout here and put in another. Okay, so you don't need that changing. Hold on. This would be a merge, wouldn't it? I know I can't see merge because this there. Uh-oh. Share. There we go. Okay. So here we are. There's the APA references, the summary. Which article did you like best? Put it down there. You don't, okay, just one. You give 3 reasons why you like that article the best. And this is just the points. So you can get done with that probably within an hour. All right. Now, I'm going to ask if there's any questions, and we have how many people here? We have 21 people. So 20 people should say in chat, yes or no. Do you have any questions on this assignment? So I want 20 people to say, oh, wow, it went up fast. Thank you. I got 9, 10. All right, we're going.
I had a question
Good.
for the references. So you said it had to be APA style, but then you had it in that like form.
Yes.
So do we need to just fill it in into those boxes, or do we need to make it APA style?
You know, that's a great question. That's very, very good. I thought I had on this because I did this for the last classes that I taught here. I don't see it as in APA style, but this is all here. So what you could do is just put the APA style here. This would be, I don't see the author, is unknown. So unknown author, date would be 2017, title from the Rheumatologist magazine, would give me the volume, and then this. So do you, if you do it that way, that's perfect. If you do it this way, that's perfect. Okay?
Okay.
I do not like APA style, grading on APA. I do like APA style. I just don't like distributing points, because when you're in ProCrest or EBSCOhost and you click the word site and you scroll down and it says APA 6 or 7 now they have, and you copy it word for word and you think you're doing it right, well, depending on the year, it's right. So if you copy this article that was 2017 in APA style, APA has changed a little bit from 2017. So you think you're getting a good grade and you're not. So I think APA people have stayed up nights just to aggravate college students and professors. It's, you know, it's good that you know who the author is, the date, the title, and where you get it, and the volume of the article and that kind of stuff. But basically, I think they changed the rules just to annoy you. All right. Any more questions, or we can move on? Let's move on. We can have more fun. And I didn't want to give this assignment out. Sorry about that, but we can do it, and we're going to be better people. If you choose, let's say you choose these articles and you're using the articles in another class. Killing two birds with one stone, that's okay with me. All right? That's okay. Should you choose an article that you're interested in? Yes. Or an article that you might need for your future classes? Yes, keep it. Less work, you know, is much better. I think that's a good decision making. And also something you're interested in. Have fun with this assignment. All right, we're gonna go, I'm gonna switch it, and we're going to go to the PowerPoint. Okay. And stop sharing. Okay, so new share, PowerPoint. Everybody see it? Somebody want to say yes, or should I go to chat again? And there's, yeah, people are chatting. Good. Thank you. Yes, I'm just getting more quicker for this. I can maybe be in the Olympics for doing, not yet. No, I don't qualify the Olympics for. We're doing PowerPoints on Moodle, not Moodle, on Wing Central yet. Maybe by the end of the year. All right, concepts. There are many. What is a concept? Concept is putting your knowledge together and trusting we're going to organize and categorize our information. So a concept of a ball means, if I said that to you, a ball, you'd immediately, you're so good at this, your head would go, a spear, it's round, it bounces, there's different sizes. So that's what a concept is. It's kind of like categorizing. Then we have the theory of relativity. If anybody listened to my messages over on Sunday, sorry, I called you yesterday. That's a concept of how the earth, how the world, universes were created. So that's another concept. So concept is a group of knowledge. It's usually backed by evidence, and sometimes there are errors in thinking. So I'm going to give you some background knowledge, and we're going to go a little bit personal, and then we're going to go into more of what is in MindTap and Moodle, and then we're going to end the day. Okay? So, okay. The importance and meaning of purpose of learning. That's one of the reasons why we're doing that. That's submit your learning statement. You don't need to do that. All right. And here is some path to success. These are excellent YouTubes. And if you need to learn how to distribute a YouTube on Ring Central, and if I have any spare time, this is what I'm going to do this week. These are good. So if you show these YouTube, if you have children, probably about 8 and above, they could handle these YouTubes. They're really good. So if you're down on yourself or the world or whatever, turn on one of these YouTubes. If you feel you're behind in your assignment, Or if you're going to go to work and you just want an uplifting YouTube, there you go. Oops, wait, what was that? Okay, this is a discussion that we are not having. There we go. And up, there we go. All right, as you see, even though I went through that, I didn't. All right. So this is how we know. I've gone through that, and I have an interactive when there's speakers here. So we're going to talk about the ABCs and success for a minute and what we have talked about it before. I'm just hitting on it again with all of you because I want all of you to be successful. And this is a concept. Success is a concept. Who is successful? Doesn't that just depend on yourself? Does it mean money? Does it mean where you live? Does it mean relationships? Does it mean you have a good collection of rocks? You're a CEO? What does success mean to you? It's very personal. And so you get what you settle for. If you aim high and never settle for anything less, then you'll achieve greatness. So if you aim high, never settle for less, and then you'll have greatness. And success is, once you feel you won't do it, you're not going to go anywhere. You can't do it, then you want to do it. How to do it? I'll try to do it. I can do it. I will do it. And you got it. So let's think about that with this assignment. I know you'll do it. You have 2 weeks. And actually you have this week 7. So you actually have 8 more weeks. But I don't, if you get it done, the better it is. All righty. Concepts create a culture first. And in order to create a culture, we're going to just enlarge this. There you go. This is all about customer support, but when you create a culture as a patient, I believe in healthcare, we can associate this with the healthcare you can even give to a patient or doing your job. You need to protect your patient from something spiraling. You want to cure them. They protected Trump by sending him to the hospital instead of leaving him at the White House. Okay, so what were they protecting him from? Other people, his staff, the phone ringing, his, being there. Was they protecting him from the COVID virus as well, giving him all the treatment, or were they protecting him just from not going in an ambulance? Did they listen? And do you listen to your patients and really hear what they're saying their symptoms are? When you're, not that you're diagnosing, but you really are, as nurses, you are, and lab tech people, dentist's office, you're doing some listening to where your patients are saying they're having trouble. And you need to engage. And there's different ways you can engage. You can engage non-verbally, or you can engage verbally. You can have a piece of paper in front of you, and I like it when they're writing down. If you have any assistance that you believe that your patient needs, then help them. You can see if they need help walking, sitting, whatever. And I'm sure each one of you are very caring and very highly intelligent in this. And do support. So that means if your patient is upset, try to find out why. Support your patient's feeling and educate your patients on what they need to know and what is going to be expected of them if you're in a doctor's office, or if you're in the hospital, or if you're having surgery. And I think you know this, and I think this has gone over and over with many of the classes that you have been in. And then we also need to identify your goals, not just with and this is going to your final papers. Identify a goal that you have today in Finances, identify a goal that you have in academia besides just this class. Identify a goal that you have in your career or even in with your family. So you need to identify goals. And one of the best habits to get into, and we're going to talk about systems, so this is just a habit. You need to make your systems into a habit, is to go over them right first thing in the morning. Just say, am I on the right track? Or right before you go to sleep, I cover these tracks. So the material values of obtaining a goal is, are you successful at work or at school or if your family? Can you develop any new strategies to help you? You need to have your relationships, your family, your professors, or your coworkers to help you. And here's, like they say, sales figures and stuff. So you can see this as how I got this picture. Social values. You have a value about being a good parent, would be a good spouse. Good spouse. Some of you have even one that's higher, good religion, a good spouse, children, good friends, good aunt, uncle, daughter, whatever. You need to stay in touch and help your friends. And then you need to go to Jane here, her party. It's kind of funny, go to Jane's party. And when you have a system and hitting the target, you don't want to keep going around in circles, but you do want to hit the target. So a combination of a system with direct targets is the best. Alrighty, let's go to this one. And this is just saying, you talked about smarter goals. This is smarter goals. Fall in love with systems. When you fall in love with systems, again, is better than just hitting the target, because how many times if you're, let's say we're meeting at a place where they have darts. I don't know, because I don't get out and about anymore, if any restaurants or bars have targets anymore. I don't see anybody playing darts anymore. But you could throw a dart without a system. You think you're headed towards your goal, but you miss. So a system gives you direct aim, kind of like when SpaceX or the shuttle is launched, they can hit the target they're going for. I once went to a lecture on how to hit, they were up, it was in about probably 2005. Jet was flying over Afghanistan, and how they knew to drop blood down to the wounded soldier within 6 feet at 35,000 feet. Me, it was amazing, but they had a system. So you need to first be very specific. So they knew what type of blood the soldier needed. They knew exactly where they were. They did the measurements, the exact coordinates, the action they took. They knew what they had to fly. They were result orientated, and they were time based. And then it's something eternal. You need to evaluate and record it and reward. So these two words actually change with some people, the way they write smarter. This is evaluation and this is reward. But it's still good to have a system. If I don't teach you anything, let's go with having a system for your goals. Sorry, I get pretty thirsty when I talk to you. I'm trying. Okay, so here is a goal without a plan or a system is just a wish. And here's another really great YouTube to watch. And I don't even know, maybe some of you know who Antoine de Saint-Exupéry is. Sounds French to me. Don't know who that is, but I like that saying. All right, now we're going to talk just a little bit about financial literacy. To take this, you don't need to comment on it yet. I'm just going to give you some strategies. Use them, no comments. I don't want to know how you're doing. Can a professor know anything about your finances? No, that is kind of unethical. because if I know you guys can figure that out. I don't need to talk about that. There we go. Financial education. All right. So what we're going to do is, are you taking out loans? Right? Maybe you've already refinanced your house. Maybe you took out a loan. So the student loan, here's an example of how much you probably took about 60,000. I heard Brookline is 88,000 to complete a degree here. So what is your monthly payment going to be? It's going to be 60. How many years? 600, I mean, 10. And what is the total interest? And it doesn't say what interest this is. You might want to understand how much interest you're going to pay back, what your monthly payments are, and find this out before you took out a loan. Now, if you have already taken out a loan, I would wait before you refinance it, but don't take that advice. I think they're going to do something about student loans. I think whoever gets elected in 2021, probably by 2022. How come it's not moving? There we go. Keep a watch on your credit score. Know that everything you do nowadays can save you money in interest on any of your credit card loans or mortgage, any loans. So this is a good decision to make. That's one of the reasons we're talking about it. The most important is your payment history. Never be late. Don't be late. That will bring your score down some points. Try to keep your score in like 850. Always pay. Have some debt. Have maybe one credit card or two. Don't open a lot of credit cards. Right now it's probably you don't do that because you're not going to the stores. But if a store says, hey, guess what? You're spending $100, but you open up a credit card in this store only, meaning the chain, you'll save 20% now. Well, what it's going to cost you in your credit card score, because if you have too many credit cards open, your score goes down. If you're late for one payment on that credit card, it goes down. So don't have very many open. Where are we? We're at 17, 18. There's 18. If you want to look at the store credit cards and the benefits, I have it right here. We don't need to go through them. I don't believe all the benefits of having very many different cards, but that's me. You might, for some reason, you might just really believe that the rewards that they offer nowadays is much better than before. So that might work for you. There's something here I was going to tell you. Oh, I know. On my first credit card application, it was 1980. I think 1980. I didn't have credit cards. I had already been married for 5 years. We didn't have credit cards. We paid everything in cash. So he wanted to open up a credit card at a local store, clothing store. So what I did is they asked me, I did not work. I was also, yeah, this was after, so I didn't work. So they asked me, what jobs did I have? Well, I put down, because I was a mom, I put down a social worker, child care worker, some kind of a shopper. I put down my worth as $1 million. Well, because it was just a local store, I got the credit card. That was kind of fun to fill it out like that. I don't suggest it because it's a legal document, but it was fun. All right. There at number 19. Here's your financial planning budget, but I don't have it up there. If you had to pay off, you might have more than one credit card. You have a credit card, like a Costco credit card, I believe is what? I know you get 3% back on whatever you buy, so I have one of those. I don't know what it is. It could be 19, it could be 29, or it could be 15. pay off the smaller interest rate first? No. Okay, does that make sense? You're going to pay off the one that charges a lot of interest. Why? Because if you had $100 on one that's charging 30, okay, and you make a payment of 100, they're charging you 130 because they charge 30% of it. If you had $100 on another credit card that only charged 10% interest, it's costing you 110. So pay off the highest interest rates first, especially if you have extra money that month, pay it off. I always double my payments. Car payments is the same way. You probably have low car payments, interest. Pay off your credit cards first, then pay off your car payment if it's low. And then this is a good slide that just explains what I was saying. And what about, this is talking about your activity in attending college. Long term, it increases your chances of getting more of a financial future. That's strange. So not that they say out loud they're judging you with a high school diploma compared to somebody that has a college degree on getting your loan. They actually are. They cannot say that in writing. But I did work in the finance. So you don't want a snowball effect. A snowball effect is paying off the smallest balance first with the highest interest rate. And you pay your smallest balance until you paid off all your debt. You just don't want the debt to avalanche. So I always pay my highest one and get that down and then pay my ones. Because you have to divide out that money. So think about that for a little while. Let's switch and go into emotion and the illogical brain. So why are we studying that? Because of knowledge and how emotion, this was part of last week's. How does emotion affect your thinking? I know when I am very scared, I'm not thinking very straight. If I'm very nervous or emotional about a relationship, I'm not thinking straight. So you probably know that this is from your anatomy and phys classes. Your reptilian brain is here. Your limbic brain with emotions and feelings is right here, which is very close. And then you have the rational and thinking brain. So your logic brain, the speed is pretty good, it's very precise. But your emotional brain, what's the speed? It's immediate. You get feelings immediately from any type of emotion. How you handle them, whether you handle the emotion or you can subdue it, that's logic. Okay? And what you can do to, you've seen people, and this is really on commercials today, you will see how they take rational words, put it into emotional words. So this is part of our decision making and critical thinking. And they take emotional words and change them to rational if they want to say something positive. Catch them, make it a game, challenge whoever you're with watching TV or looking at an ad or reading, challenge yourself to see how you can persuade somebody by using both emotional words when it's time and rational words with it's time. So what sounds more rational? Additionally, or there's more? There's more means, oh, yeah. Concern? That's not so bad, but worried? Yeah. Difficult? It's tough, it's hard. Difficult is a nicer sounding word. Immediately, ASCP to right now, right now. You see how that happens? Perhaps, maybe. So these are words that you want to use when you're trying to think of logic and you're persuading people with logical words. Their logic, you're appealing to the logic. When you're appealing to a patient with emotional, then you're going to use these words on this side. Now, when would be a time that you want to be rational? Let's say a patient is going to check themselves out of the hospital. And my cousin did this. He checked himself out of the hospital when he had a brain injury. So they tried to appeal to his logic, but he just couldn't hear that at that time. He wanted only emotional words. So what they did is they appealed to his emotion, and then they appealed so that they would calm him down emotionally, calm him down, and then they went rational. That is something that you can do with your patients. If they're emotional, agree to their emotions, calm their emotions down first with words, then switch the words to being rational. Okay, so now we're going into the concepts. So it's not time for a break. We'll keep on going. What is a concept? It refers to knowledge that is about a category, okay? And then what is a category? A category is a collection of instances, facts, objects, group of knowledge that is treated as if it was the same. It's a basic level, a subordinate level, or a superordinate level. And these inferences, the category can be, concept can be weak because it's not supported by a lot, or it could be strong when it's supported a lot. The same with inferences. You can infer something, but if you only infer something and have one fact to back it up, it's not very strong. So this is kind of a common sense. All right, which slide we're on? Slide 26. All right, here are example of what's this in there now? Example of categories. Can you find all the rectangles? Okay, can you find, that's kind of a cut-off cylinder or a tube or in a triangle. So what other things can you identify? Think about that. Look at the picture. What else can you identify? How about you can go by the color yellow, a concept of stripes, a concept of 3D. Got any more concepts? It's pretty interesting. You can go, if they're shaded just on top, which this is, you know, so there's a lot of concepts and shapes that you don't even need to think of. You know who is learning shapes is actually when we're talking baby now, okay, 6 months. I believe a baby does know what a bottle looks like. That's a concept. So you can put a fake bottle up there and the baby's not going to grab it. So they understand. So isn't it amazing how the brain works instead of so young? I don't know what's the youngest age. That is something anybody can Google. Say, what is the youngest age a human can identify as a concept? All right. The concepts in healthcare. How many different, this could be for your articles if you need to look them up. The coordination and integration of care. That's a concept in healthcare. Information and education. You can get a position here. You can take a patient here. Physical comfort. That's a good concept. That's a good concept. Emotional support. I like the involvement of family and friends. Oh, there we go. We got continuity and transition. So when they transition home, and access to care. So we have quite a many concepts in healthcare. All right, we need to organize them. So if I was to hand you these and you had ideas of what they are, here's how you organize them. They color coded them, and you can see how many things, especially if you're in coding and billing, how many different colors they're going to use for certain things. And you know that. And look at all these concepts that they came in. They have 53. And I bet you we could add thousands more. There you go. Keep saying that. Here's a concept of a person. Are you feeling good, enjoying life, myself, all these here? Are you? You notice what is missing from here? Something is missing from I am. I didn't want to put it out there. What's missing? Negativity. I don't want to show you any negativity. I do believe in facing negativity, looking at it, saying, yes, that exists, but move on and go into the future. Don't stay on negativity. So that's why it's missing from that slide. Let's go to the next one. So we're back into concepts. Concepts are general ideas used to identify and organize experiences and bring order and intelligibility to our lives. Concepts work in conjunction with language to identify, describe, distinguish, and relate. Do you think animals understand concepts? You think it's only humans that have the concept? Well, I think dogs understand a lot of concepts. Cats, household pet cat, I think they might understand more than what we give them credit for. But what about a wildlife animal? Do they understand a concept? I think they do. I know the quail, if they see me coming towards them, they're going to run away. I think they know the concept of a human. I think they know the concept of when they should fly and not fly. When they think they can make it by running, they run. If they think they're going to get caught by me, they fly. So they can even understand concepts. So concept isn't something just limited to humans. All righty. What is the structure of concept? Here is an important slide. This is very important. I want you to kind of pay attention if you're not. My daughter in teaching fourth grade will say quiz, pop quiz, but this is on your quiz. In fact, MindTap overdoes this structure of concept. Concepts act to classify groups, aspects of experience based on their similarity to each other. The structure of concepts involve the name of three words here, okay? Three properties: sign, reference, and properties. Again, that's the sign. This is a word, symbol that names the concept, bird. The theory of relativity, that is a word symbol. Reference is examples of the concept. So you see an actual bird, you see a dog. If it's the theory of relativity, you would see some of the concepts that not Einstein, who is he? Got the guy's name, really intelligent guy. What did he develop? Well, a concept would be how the earth, so he has explosion and stuff like that. And properties, qualities of all the examples of the concepts share in common. Well, in theory of relativity would be helium and hydrogen, those two, right? Or helium and lithium, only two periodic elements. But a dog, they all have four legs. We all know what a dog looks like: long hair, they're cute. So that's all the properties. I think we're gonna, okay. We form concepts by generalizing, focusing on the common properties. Then we interpret. We interpret by looking for examples of the concept. So if I had a ball, a tennis ball, and then I was holding a basketball, we could say they're both balls. but one is used to play basketball, which is a concept of you need the ball, but you have the concept of bouncing the ball, throwing it into a hoop, and whether a tennis ball is you hit it by a racket. So you develop concepts involved a constant back and forth movement between generalizing and interpreting. Yeah, so if you were going to come up with a new idea, a new concept, concepts are ideas, I bet you could come up with one for healthcare. You could, especially with AI being involved, maybe an implant. That's what you could do. You're going to generalize and then you're going to interpret. And then other people will start to add to that. People interpret it a little bit different. Look how that's what makes innovation and thinking about the ideas improve life. So just look at the way surgery was in the 1800s to 1700s. I don't even know if they had surgery when Shakespeare was alive in the 1500s. I think they did. The concepts have really evolved because people have been innovating, and it's a constant back and forth. So we're going to get up to slide 37 and then we'll go on break. Create an effective definition of, what was that? I added a slide. Let's go back. Okay. Giving an effective definition of concept means, now this is key again, identifying the general qualities of a concept which determine when it can be correctly applied. Using examples that embody the general qualities of the concept to demonstrate the application of the concept. That's kind of using words to get you a little bit confused. But what that means is I'm going to identify the concept of a ball as being a sphere and it can bounce, all right, when it's correctly. So an example would be a basketball. Another example would be a tennis ball. Both spheres, they both bounce. But what about Earth? It's a sphere, but it doesn't bounce. Therefore, it can't be a ball. See how that works? Alrighty. Two more slides to apply a concept. So if you're going to come up with a new concept of what something is, you need to figure out and apply it to the situation. So beware that the properties that form the boundary of the concept, you need to know, like, so what is the difference between the Earth and a basketball court size? But I was just saying sphere and they bounce. The Earth doesn't bounce. It didn't say anything about size. So determine whether the experience meets those requirements. Well, yeah, the Earth is round, is a sphere, but it doesn't meet the requirement of bounce. So determine exactly what the requirements of the concept ask. Would something still be an example of this concept if it didn't meet this requirement? So if you have, you see, what else is round but not a ball? You guys got anything? What's round? An orange. An orange, it's not a ball. It doesn't really bounce, does it? So that would, it does not meet the requirement of bouncing. It's not going to be a ball. So there you go. And here's the last one we're going to do. The conclusion. Becoming an educated thinker involves learning to form and apply concepts. So why are we doing this? This is a test question. Okay. Understand complex ideas, make sense of what is happening, and anticipate what may happen in the future. So why do we make concepts? To understand complex ideas. Okay? Because we can't sit down and tell a dog about the relative theory of relativity. I don't think they'd understand. You have to make sense of what is happening. We have to know how the world started because we're curious animals. And we can tell what's going to happen in the future by the theory of relativity. It's going to be spreading out. So I say we go on break until 1:40. I need at least 3 yeses in the chat. 3 yeses in the chat. I think that's when I get a lot of chats, when I Okay, there's 3. All right, I bet you they all say yes. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I really appreciate all that. So um, we'll see you at 1:40. I'm going to pause this for a minute. And where's my recording? Check out, check in. Okay, so there we are. All right, we are now recording. I got lots of people checking in and chat again. Wonderful, love that. You know, not always, I think to myself before a break, I'm going to get this done and this done. Break doesn't happen. I did get myself a cup of coffee, so I have that. So maybe I'll speed talk again. I appreciate everybody through the, listening to the concepts of financial and goal setting. Why I bring that up is because I want all of you to just be top financial personnel, all be in really good financing, not to worry about it. And if you do need it as a goal, set it. So we need to continue to do goal setting throughout your lives. You would think at 67, I don't need to do it anymore, but I probably have more than I did when I was younger. Let's see, there's something else. Oh, I want to know if you guys are having just the best day ever. It should be. This is really good. It's October 5th. We got 16 more days for Halloween. Don't know what it's going to be like, but I'm hoping you're having a positive day. I am. Started out really good. You know how it started out? I woke up. And I don't know if you wake up and you're tired or if you wake up kind of sluggish. I wake up ready to jump out of the bed. And that's because what I was taught by a professor when I was 18, freshman year. I think I told you that story. And it does help you to wake up refreshed and better. And it's all in your head. So that's basically it. And I can do that if you want. More like on week 14, 15, and 16. We have to meet then. And I did tell you last week that week 8, we'd go over Mind Tap. Found out I can't do that. So I don't know why. I figured we should be able to. But we will just have a kind of a fun class. We'll play like a Jeopardy game. We'll talk about the articles, and I'll give you time to do it and stuff like that. So that's what's happening. Let's get on with the presentation back there again. Okay, so we were here. We were at the conclusion. Now, the concept of a conclusion means it is ending, right? Oh, I need to screen share. New share, screen share. Oh, it is. Okay, there you go. So concept of conclusion means it's ending. Guess what? We've only just begun. I think that's a good title of a name of a song that was in the 70s, and everybody played it at their weddings at that time. I don't know why. As you see, I'm getting my brain works to bring in other concepts while I'm thinking of another one. But this conclusion means that we did part of the conclusion for the chapter. We're going to go on and move into more details and have more fun. So we've gone through half the slides. That means in another hour, we should be pretty well finished. So let's see if we can do that. And then I need to keep you here for another half hour, but we'll figure out something fun to do. Okay. I'm just scrolling here. As you can see, my cursor is, you can't see my cursor, can you? Anyway, all right, I'm putting 37 up. Here we are, creating your brand. This is something that you need to make a decision on. Do you need a brand? What is your brand? Why is this in here? Decision making is making decisions all the time about your behavior. Okay. A brand is a concept. So we're going to talk about the brand concept and how you're going to create your own concept and what a brand is, isn't it? Basically, your behavior, that's your brand. The way you dress, that's your brand. The way you decide things on concept. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I have it in my white Yeti so it stays lukewarm because, as you know, I don't like coffee and I love milk, so I get coffee milk. Coffee for the caffeine. Okay, that's the sidebar of me. I feel like, you're my friends. There's a chat. Uh-oh. They just... Okay, there's just somebody came back. So that's good. All right. So how are you going to create your brand? Should your brand, especially, I would believe most of you are not working at the place you are going to work when you graduate, right? So you got to start a brand right now of healthcare today, right? You probably already don't have any inappropriate posts, but if you do, come back from high school, delete now. Just delete them. You don't need them. If you have anybody that has posted on their Facebook page, but shared you, tagged you in it, see what you can do about getting that tag removed. I don't know how to do that. Okay, check your privacy settings and review what is public. Probably some of you tweet. I started Twitter in 2007, and I don't even know if I tweeted back then, but I think I did once, and that was it. I'm hoping they deleted my account. Only use a professional photo and an email address. I did have one girl in 2007, around, maybe 8. She had an inappropriate body part on part of her email address as her name. No, 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 no. You want to start now with a professional photo and an email address. And before you post anything, ask yourself, are you comfortable with your future employer seeing this? You're going to put up kids, your own kids or anybody else's kids, and they put up your kids, family members, whatever. Make sure that all of them have the privacy set to top 1. I don't post. Well, I don't have, I do have a Facebook account, but as you see, it was only active when I was getting a doctorate and way back in 2007. I also have a LinkedIn account, the same thing. And I will not post a picture of my kids because of my son-in-law, of my kids or my grandkids, because it started with I once, as a teacher, professor, I was at Gateway in the health department there, and I had not a good experience with somebody stalking me. So haven't been active since then, except for when I went and got my doctorate. But I don't post anything about my grandkids or anything. I don't ever want them to be in jeopardy. However, I love it when anybody else posts that kind of stuff. I love it. So it's kind of an oxymoron with me. Anyway, follow the professionals in the field. If you want to work for Banner Health, follow Banner Health. If you want to work for Mayo, same thing. You want to work for the department of a dentist, follow that dentist. Even if it might be 3 years before you graduate, do it now, because the more information you have stored in your head about whatever specific position you want, the better you're going to be at the interview. You'll sound more professional, you'll sound experienced. Do it. It's good spending your time. We talked about financial stuff, just kind of touched on it. It's a credit card with interest in your bank. It's good. So share your accomplishment via social media. That's another thing kind of hard for me to do, but do it. Take another sip of coffee. Sorry. I should so that's slide. Have a system, a strategy, and concepts. You have an academic brand, a career brand, and a personal brand. Develop them. Your visual brand identity. Make sure you go through your discovery phase of the system you want to create your goals, the strategies you're going to use, the concepts for your academic brand. What kind of a student do you want to be? Follow that. Discover what you want. Maybe you want to be a 4.0, but you think studying is really hard. Get some strategies going. Get a system to study and then follow it. Same thing with your career. What are you going to do? Your personal brand. Same thing. Get a discovery. Maybe you want to change your behavior on some of the, you don't want the brand of what you were in high school or in middle school. So start changing it. And you can change it today. Start discovering it. Do a research phase. Well, why do I have to do a research phase on what I want to be in the future? You do it now, the future is easier. You got a design phase. Well, I'm going to start to post and look up. I really want to be a surgical tech with just in the cancer. And maybe I want to be so even more specific with that. I want to work, I forgot this one guy's name, but he works only in female reproductive organs. That's it. That's the only cancer he does. So he's very specific. Start now. Maybe you want to do neonatal. Talk about infants that have to be in NICU. Start looking up research now about it. Maybe you just want to do any infant. Maybe you just want to do pediatrics. Maybe you just want to do a dentistry. Maybe you want dentistry in pediatrics. Look it up. Start doing it now. The more time you spend on all this, the more experience you are, the more confidence builds up, everything's good. So style your guide phase, get your style. So if you're going to be in NICU compared to pediatric dentists, compared to geriatrics, get your style. Geriatrics, you might want to develop where you can read lips. Some older people like me, we don't talk up very much. That's good. Compared to, you might need to do some more cuddling of a NICU, or you're not cuddling, but you might need to know all the stuff there. Learn it now. Get excited about it now. And then you got to implement. So all this is before you implement it. Put it out, paste it on Facebook. Start following the places you want to work at or want to be in. Start following NICU people. I happen to like the brain, so it's an epigenetics. So neurobehavior epigenetics, is that the word for it? I started doing that. And I found it was much more interesting because it was something I wanted to do. And it's good. So I'm encouraging you, trying to promote that. According to the survey, and I don't know anything more about the survey, there's no data about this, that 90% of the recruiters review this social profile of any candidate for a job. And this is just good. So 90% of the recruiters review the social profile. I would say that that's 100%. I think that's all true. A big company like Mayo's, they probably have a team, and maybe you're going to HR to work at Mayo's in HR, and you need to know the health background, healthcare. Don't you think that's a good idea? They save a lot of money. What any business spends a lot of money on is training their employers, especially new ones. If they need to let go of one, or they feel one doesn't work out because they didn't do their background study, they wasted some money. Do they like wasting money? No, I don't like wasting money. Neither do companies. So do this now. Identify, advertise your brand. Are you advertising just because you're going to be this type of person in your personal life? No, but this is being friends, being friends with a lot of people. Create an elevator speech. You're saying, this is one of my first courses here at Brookline. I got 4 more years. Can you imagine if you created an elevator speech right now, what it would be like when you graduate in 4 years and you go on an interview? You know it. What is an elevator speech? It is a short, probably less than 60 seconds, less than 2-3 minutes. And it's all about you and about exactly pinpoint. Your elevator speech nowadays, it used to be able to be broad. I want to work in pediatric dentistry. I want to work in geriatrics. You can make it pretty broad. Nowadays, if you're hiring for males, you'd want to include very specific. So focus on 1 or 2 key accomplishments. Look at what their what the advertisement, what they need for for a surgical tech, that you can follow orders quickly. You know where it is. You're very clean. Those are 2 concepts. I have no idea what a surgical tech needs, but focus on that. If you think that's what's going to get you hired, be creative and use your imagination. Definitely in this day and age, use your imagination. Everybody is. And know who you're talking to. That what goes back. If you're talking to Mayo's compared to Banner Health, compared to Honor Health, or anywhere else you're going to. I don't know what dentistries, Dentist Smile, I don't know, different dentistries, radiology departments, Smile compared to some of the other ones that are building. If I wanted to be in radiology and I did not want to work for Smile, I wanted to work for a company that was up and coming up, a little smaller, I would research that company really well. Should you start today? Yeah, definitely start today. All righty, let's go to the next slide. Knowledge, evidence, and errors in thinking. Why am I saying this again? Because we're starting to review and go over this. Reality, reason, rationalism is imperialism. Okay, it's the structure of the mind. So rationalism experience is reality is not simply a matter of pure reason, which is rationalism, and the use of physical senses with it, which is the imperialism. I can say that right. Imperialism depends on the structure of our minds. So we're just like computers. We design and accept and process particular kinds of inputs from the outside world, and our brains make the correct hardware to accept and make this sense out of the incoming data. And this is basically why this is important to me and why I'm teaching you is because epigenetics that I got my doctorate in is the study of what turns on and off your hardware, what turns on the light in a room. And it depends on your environment. So you rationalize in one way and you use your senses to help you with all your behaviors with your brands that you want to be. Okay. So Aristotle taught us that wisdom is the greatest virtue. What is the difference between knowledge and wisdom? What's the difference between knowledge and wisdom? How about experience? I know what a bike is, bicycle. I know a bicycle is to ride from one place to another place. I have knowledge that people ride their bicycles 100 miles a day. But do I have the wisdom, the strength of where I should be riding, how should I pack something? Wisdom is experience. So can a 2-year-old be knowledgeable? Yes. Can a 2-year-old be wise? Well, you'll see it beginning. You'll see it there, but not very much. That's why the owl is wise, because they say they're old, they think about it, at least they think they're thinking about it. So do that. Discuss whether information age has made us wiser or more knowledgeable. What do you think? Are we more knowledgeable now since I think it was 1988? When did the internet get invented? The information age started, I think, in the 1950s, they say. Okay, we're not going to contrast Kant. We don't need that. Well, here it is. Kant says the theory of knowledge. All right. Throughout our contents are empty. Our thoughts are empty. Intuitions without concepts are blind. So lack of one element makes knowledge impossible. The interplay between sensibility with its power to receive and understanding, which is the power to think, comes knowledge. So what they're saying is that Kant said that knowledge is something that you gain with your intuition, you try to understand it. That's Kant. We're going to skip some of these slides because you don't need to know this for your mind taps. Let's go down to here. Okay. This is something here. What is the difference, the unreliability of hearsay and anecdotal evidence? Expert and credibility. Okay. So hearsay is gossip and telephone. And let's put in there a lot of tweets, a lot of people's opinions, a lot of posting something on Facebook, say something like that. Anecdotal, and this is spelled wrong, I thought, maybe not, is based on personal testimony like UFO and being abducted. So what can you believe? Okay, here are two bad things that you don't believe. It's old fashioned. Up here, can we believe right now there is so much in this world that we really need to know the facts and the truth on all 360 sides of the political arena? We do need to study it. Okay. So we're experts. You want to follow expert. So how can you determine whether a healthcare news story is well done and accurate? Can you tell it by who wrote it? Let's think about that. Can we do that? By just who wrote it? It depends on if there's an expert. If I wrote something, would you believe it? Well, depends. If I wrote something about behavioral epigenetics, my dissertation 4 years ago, that was believable. But if I wrote it now, I'm not an expert anymore. A lot has happened in the last 4 years. How do science design experiments to avoid bias? Well, it depends on your, you take all the validity, all the, what do you call it? Not the control group, the variables. You make sure the variables do not have any bias. Sometimes you want to hit a large field. Sometimes you have to hit a small field. For me, I believe almost the topic was, for my research, was people with the knowledge of behavior epigenetics that are leaders in the business. So we're talking about CEOs and top leaders. Would you know about behavior epigenetics and how epigenetics works on the body? Would you have a more healthier environment for your employees? Well, right there, that's kind of a bias statement. So in order to get rid of the bias, I had to find people that did not know about behavior epigenetics, and that was pretty easy to find. What was difficult to find is ones that wanted to have the healthy environment. So that was one of my questions. If they didn't care about having a healthy environment or putting money into it, that was a better candidate for me to tell them about behavioral epigenetics than somebody that really wanted to have a healthy environment. So I had to get rid of, I think, a lot of bias. Did I avoid all biases? I don't think so. It was difficult. I had to write it all in on the end. Can you recognize, how can you recognize and avoid being taken by misleading advertisements? Today, there's so much, just not even political, but like wrinkle creams, because I'm old, I'm looking at wrinkle creams, maybe toys. How about this is an award-winning toy, award-winning book? You have to really do your research on data, and I think you know that. So have you ever argued a position that was supported by credible evidence through doing so with anger or alienated your family member or teacher or employee? This would be, what about masks? This is a real good time to come up with. What about social distancing? All the research depends on what you want to believe, okay? So some of the research is saying masks do not work. Some of it's saying that they do. Some says viruses can get through even the little tiny air holes and the air is going through this side. Some of it says it doesn't matter. It does block it. Same thing with social distancing. So you have to really look into it and you have to base from your own experiences, your own wisdom, what would be good in the future. All right, confirmation bias. What is confirmation bias? That's something that is on the test. Confirmation bias is what, in my research, it was really easy to get confirmation bias if I allowed it to happen. So that's the tendency to interpret new evidence as confirming my existence belief. So I believed that if a person did not know about behavior epigenetics, didn't care about a healthy environment, after learning about it, they would. Okay? So when somebody did learn about it and wanted it, I had a confirmation bias right then. So they believed in what I was researching. Could a confirmation bias would be talking to somebody who already believed in being very healthy, and then I talked to them, and yeah, okay. So they support it. So confirmation bias today is when you have, let's say you have 5 articles you need to read for a midterm paper, and you read them all on masks. You don't have to do this. They could be on 5 different subjects. Okay. And 3 of them were, I don't know if I want to go on this topic. Okay. Let's say that 3 of them said the color orange prevented COVID. 2 of them said red prevents COVID, right? So you want to prove that red, you won't get COVID, or is positive for, if the test comes out positive, it's red. So you see somebody that, okay, so you know 2 to 3, but you want to gather only up the ones that are coming out positive that are red. So that's a confirmation bias. It's going with your belief, okay? So what is confirmation dissonance? It's almost the same thing. It's believing that something, you're not going to do it because it doesn't go with what you believe. There you go. Now, what is CREP? CREP is the way that we can evaluate the concepts. By this way is currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Right? So when you get a website, or if you're looking at data, that you look in the databases, you look for when it was current. Don't use anything that was written before 2010. And actually, it should be not prior to 20, it's going to be 21, so not prior to 2018. 3 years. 3 years is the best. Relevance is the importance of the information to your needs. So if you're going to write about does the color orange prevent COVID? Yeah, it has to have to do something with COVID. It has to have to do something with color, that kind of stuff. Authority is who is writing it. There are so many people that are posting on all the social media that have no authority. What I like it is when on sports, I see this where there's, they usually have sports announcers that have played football for football sports announcers, right? But what about the ones that played way back when I was watching football and, they're like my age in the late 60s, 70s, and they're giving their authority on the way football is played now. It's played a little bit differently. There's a lot more structure, I believe, that goes into football, a lot more people playing, a lot more when you substitute and everything. Accuracy. Well, what is the truth of the content? Accuracy is really important today with the political arena. If for orange juice and health, even for, I don't know if they, see, I don't watch much TV. So are they still advertising laundry detergent and that kind of stuff? What is the accuracy? So if I wanted to buy Tide, or looking to buy the one that got me the whitest whites because my uniform is white because I'm in healthcare, and I want to buy it from Tide, and I see all the research is from Tide, well, of course, Tide is going to come up on it. So make sure it's accurate. The reason for why does the information exist? Some of the negative information that's on the internet right now and Twitter, why is it existing? Is it going to make you come over to their side? Think of the purpose. All right. This is not in, this is just an example of this murder place. And this is kind of sad. So this is an example of people needing to realize what they were doing. I'm going to take a sip. I believe this happened in the 60s. And this is the Grenovirus syndrome and the murder of Kitty. I can't say her name. Anyway, she was murdered in front of 34 people. Some of them were looking out. Not one of them called the emergency room or 911. Well, I don't even know if 911 existed back then, but none of them said they saw anything. So when you turn your back on any behavior, whatever, that's also looking at. Make your decision. You look at the situation. Don't turn your back on it if it's something that's dangerous. That's why that slide is in there. So there are some more social errors and biases. So this kind of goes with your brand. One of us to one of them. You'll see the advertisements, the political advertisements doing this right now. Be one of us. You don't want to be one of them. When you get your brand, you want to include, be more specific, social expectations. And this is really powerful that it can lead to delusions of people's attempt to fit the evidence into the cultural worldview. Here we go with the masks and social distancing. What is the social expectation? The group pressure and conformity. Group pressure can influence individual members to behave in a way that positions, you all know this, conformity. You don't want to be left out. So work here at Banner Health because we do this. Work here at Mayo's because we do this. You want to conform. And diffusion of responsibility. That is when a group of people at a critical side, they don't need to It's not our problem. A lot is done, and I can do this with global warming. There's a big thing about it's not our problem. So, okay, where are we? We're 50. Need to hurry up here. Arguments. This is going into next week. This is forming and applying concepts. Here we go back with the Brookline standpoint of this is Aristotle. The key difference between Aristotle, traditional and modern, is logic and assumption. So logic Aristotelian assumes that the category terms are all actual objects. Okay? So modern Brookline logic does not make the existence of supernatural. So that's that, but it's not a question on yours. So immediate influence. This is on this in your chapter. It's definitely on the mind tab. So you all have done Venn diagrams, I'm assuming. And what a I can't say it now. Need a sip of coffee, and I'm getting tired. Venn is in V. All right. So if we have people, okay, we have these many people here, and this is the happy things, including people. Well, the intersection of a Venn diagram is what is happy people, all right? So if you had dogs, four-legged animals here, and you had here, let's say four-legged, I'm gonna make sure I can get this, just dogs here. Four-legged animals, and this is all the animals that have a long wagging tongue, which could be in here. Does that make sense? I don't know where else there's a wagging tongue. All right, I need to come up with a better example, and I'll do that at the break. I'm trying to do good. I don't know. All right. This is either. Okay, women, men, that was Aristotle. Now it's whatever. Just make sure you wash your hands so they're not clarifying. Anybody can go in here. This would be a Venn diagram that doesn't have an intersect. Now here we have an intersect. That's really good. This is a picture of a hotel bathroom, public bathroom that I went by, and the stalls were not behind the doors. So it was whatever. It was glass. The entire bathroom was in glass. So it was, when I first walked by it, I was appalled because I thought, who's going to use a public bathroom with this glass enclosed? You could see right in it. You could see the sink. You could see the toilet. You could see the stalls. Who would use that, right? But when you opened up the door and you went inside, it activated a light so you could not see through the glass. So it was private, and also you could automatically lock it so nobody else came in. I thought that was really cool, but it took me a long time before I realized that. Stared at it for hours. Okay, mind tap, structure of concepts. Okay, so the sign of a concept. Remember these? We had 3 words that we needed to know. I'm sorry, we're back into mind tap. This is at the end, and this is mind tap taken right out of it. Okay, so the sign of a concept is a word or a symbol used to name the designated concept. Aren't you glad we have language? That's why we were studying language last week. So look, this is all meat. This is a squirrel. This is a squirrel, right? What are the properties of meat? Okay. Well, it's a food, but that's too general. So a meat is something that comes from animals, right? That's a property. They could be red, they could be white. So the property is, that is, comes from animals. The reverend is the concept of various examples of the concept that just exists. So this would be red meat. This would be chicken meat. I can't say within the red meat, this could be hamburger, this could be from a lamb chop, I don't know. Here is an animal, a squirrel, and this is one, these are two kinds of squirrel. This squirrel has a little bit of tuft here, so I think it's called a fox squirrel. So your mind tap questions are here. So a reverent is an example of the sign of one particular one, okay? So the property is all the properties that have it. So let's just talk about Brookline. How many properties of Brookline could we put down that is signify it from all other ones, or make it so it's just about Brookline? It's healthcare. Used to only be nurses, now it's branched out to other. So, but it does not include doctors, right? You don't become a doctor after going to Brookline. So that's an exclusion property, right? Okay. Here's another mind tap, all right? This is concept of a dagger and whatever they're calling these. So this is another one down here. So these are two questions from a mind tap. This is ancient armor and weaponry. We learned that the sword was developed during the Bronze Age. So all these are example of a broadsword, a saber, and katana. So if you studied, I don't remember which one is what anymore, but you would understand all these. These are, one's a sign, one's, so this would be a sign. A sword is a concept because it is whatever, and it's long-edged. And this is, so this is a capybara, which is native to South America and resembles a large guinea pig, and is the world's largest rodent. And I think that's a wombat as well. So the word rodent is a concept, meaning, I think rodents, don't they have, I don't know if they have fingers, but they have long nails, they have tails. I thought rabbit was also in the rodent. I'm not sure anymore. So I'd have to look up the word rodent. It's a sign. The type of mammal that has two teeth that grow constantly, gnaw to keep their teeth, considered pests in certain circumstances. There are some domesticated for the concept of rodent. These are rats. So this type of mammal, okay, I could say this is a mammal. But this would be a property. This would be more of a referent. Oh, these are reference here because they're concepts. And this is properties, okay? So sign, property, reference. Here are more. They're actually the same that you need. And here we have 4 different pigs, okay? So here's a pig with spots, piglet. Here's a pig with no spots. These are pigs that have curly tails. Okay, so there are different things. These are all pigs. Here is a reverend. It has, a property is that it has a curly tail. So this kind of pig has a curly tail and is a pig. Generalizing and interpreting. The best initial concept for the ruffed white pig is a pig with pink spots and short hair. When the farmer forms this initial concept, he is engaged in the process of generalizing. So he goes from a white pig to short hair. He generalizes its common properties, okay? The best revised concept for a Westfordshire white pig is a white pig with short hair displaying pink spots. So generalizing means we go from one small thing to making sure, thinking it's the entire population. From interpreting, we're going from big to very specific. Okay, that's the difference. So we have a three-sided coin for structure of concept. What is the structure of concept? It's three different things. We have the sign, pig. We have properties, is omnivorous and has a snout. And irreverent is a black pig, named Chester, or a white pig. Okay, so we have sign, properties, and reverence. So you need to fill that in. And here's a mind map, and I just love mind maps, so I did not fill in the blank here, but you could put in pig and then put in these properties and find out how big it is instead of doing a Venn diagram. And we have one more slide. And this slide, let's see if it goes to it. There we go. And when a person has a testimony from an expert from a different field to evaluate the evidence, he or she commits a fallacy. This is going into fallacies where we will study this next week. Not next week, we'll study on week 9, okay? So we have to tell whether these are concepts and fallacies. So we're not going to go through this. Those are something we don't need to do. Oh, we got a couple more slides. Here's some vocabulary words and judgment. These are kind of fun. So we accept, reject, and suspend judgment due to ambiguity and insufficient documentation of vagueness and subjectivity. This is how we are accepting and rejecting concepts or judgment. So Campbell's soup is hot. Some are getting burnt from it. So just one day after the broth reported profits, Campbell said it would lay off 650 workers, including 175 or 11% of the workforce, because they had the Camden, New Jersey or something. Can we accept that as being true? Or do we reject it? Do we think that is good? And I think this word hot is not because people are getting burned, that their workers are US workers. It's 11% from this field here. So can we believe that statement or not? By 1893, there were between 300 and 1,000 buffaloes remaining in our entire country. A few years later, President Theodore Roosevelt persuaded Congress to establish the number of wildlife preserves in which the remaining buffaloes could live without danger. The number increased, nearly doubling over the past 10 years to 130. Truth? Can we believe that? Suspend it? What do you think? Were they right to do that? Do we need more evidence? Newly released documents included the transcripts of telephone conversations recorded by President Lyndon B. Johnson in November and December in 1963, providing for the first time a detailed look at why and how a 7-member Warren Commission was put together. These documents, along with record review of the previous release material, described a process designed to control more information than to elicit and expose it. So what they were trying to do was President Lyndon B. Johnson, did he make this commission biased when he got it together? So they looked at his voice, looked at his, who he called. Now, we know now that this must have been 1968, 63. So that, first of all, President Johnson became president in 63 in November and December. So why did they look at his records? Was there a conspiracy? Because that's what the Warren Commission was designed to do. So can they be based on all this? Side. Okay. And as you can see from our textbook is outdated. Right now, we have all this data. So do you remember Frantic Parents Told the Shock TV? I don't know if you guys were around. I think it was 2006 when somebody was testing some kind of ball and he had his 6-year-old, 8-year-old child in this ball that could fly. And anyway, it was just very. So if you want, read through these. We're going to go on break until 2:40. Okay. I think I can get answers in the chat again. So let's do that. And I'll see you at 3:40, 2:40, 2:40. All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Stephanie. I really appreciate that. All righty. Stephanie replied, we're doing that. Zoom recording. Okay, welcome back after break, and here we go. We're going to meet for about another half hour. What I'm trying to do now is to get this well, go, but it's not. So I'm going to do a new share, and we're going to, let's see, I'm going to play some of the YouTubes there, so I'm hoping that they come across. I've learned how to do this, so we'll see. Share. Okay. Can you see this guy? It says click now. This was in 2016. Can you see that in the screen? I have 7 people chatting. Okay, so it's only names. Yes, thank you. Good. Okay. So now I'm going to put the what's-majigga on. I don't see where I can get the closed caption. Put that big. There we go. Now it's huge. Now you can see if I get autopay and stuff. So I might not do this unless I can get words. Here it is, closed caption. I don't know if that did it. Let's see. I'm going to go back to another one. This one. It's the same one. Okay. That's an hour long. We're not going to go. Okay, Denzel Washington is 10 minutes. So we're going to watch this one, and it does have a closed caption. So there it is. All right. So I am going to make that up there. Make sure I can share it. So let's see what it says. New share. Denzel Washington. Hope you can see that. And I'm going to start to play it. I don't hear it very well.
And then
There
one
you go.
day, and I remember the exact day,
Here's
March
the words.
27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. I didn't know her personally. I was looking at has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? While it may be frightening, it will also be rewarding. Because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you.
Okay, that's it. I hope you heard it. If not, play it. It's really a good one. And we can argue he has a concept that you should make a difference. That's what you should do when you help somebody. Make a difference. Just don't help them. And how he did he was better. So, okay, we're not doing these here, but if somebody wants to listen to those and comment on them, that's good. It's only 2:53, so we got a couple minutes here. So we're going to go to some of the other ones. Let's see how I need to get out of here. We're going to screen share again. I'm going to do a new share. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit escape. We're going to go to a real easy one. I think it's going to share right here. It's only a minute. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. We got to stop this. I didn't turn off something. Uh-oh. Who is talking here? Not that one. Not that one. There we go. There we go. You're not going to talk while this is a fun little cartoon, 1 minute and 35 seconds of what is a concept. Sounds like grateful. Okay, so that explained what a concept was. Oh, what was this? What's this? We'll do this one. I don't know what this one is, but it might be good. I'm not canceling it. Here it goes. Love panda bears. So we get up and dance to this music here. All righty. There's a better definition than I. This is Powtoon. Like it. Let's see if they do one more. What is a concept? We're not going to cancel unit on Roger. All right. Do this one. This is 13 minutes. After this one, we end. Okay. Oh, we might end before this guy. I don't know if you can hear this. You see. No, you cannot. Okay. Let me go to sharing, see if it's in sharing. It's in sharing, but you can't hear it. This one does not have the music. Okay. Okay. We're not going to do that. So what we're going to do here is this. Nope, 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 nope. Stop, stop, stop. I need escape. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to end today. It is 3 o'clock, and I think we had a great session. Do I have any questions? We do, because we're doing the, don't talk, stop it. There we go. Nope. I got to do this. Okay, hold on. There we go. Screen sharing has stopped. Okay. There we go. And I am going to turn off the video. Make sure that's all gone. It is. All right. So because we do picture perfect and we spend some time in there, I take attendance twice. So because we're ending at 3, it kind of, we don't need to do that week 7 assignment. Definitely not. I'm going to take it off right now. So within an hour, refresh Brookline and you won't see it anymore. That was my fault that you saw it, because actually I didn't look for it. I'm glad you brought it to my attention. I take it off the boards. Okay. Remember, you got the week 8 assignment. Any other questions? Put them in chat or take yourself off mute. Okay. I'm making faces because I'm wondering. Chat, okay. So we don't need, thank you. Okay, yes. We do not need to do week assignment. Thank you and have a fantastic, powerful week. Get your goals set. Get your finances straight in line. Get your brand. Think of those 3 things. Those are 3 concepts we need to think about. Goal systems. Okay, everybody's saying goodbye. This is fantastic. I believe you're saying goodbye. Yep. Okay, good. Yeah, great behavior there. So we'll see you later, okay? And I'm going to go for one more. Okay.